he's really good.
I spent the last 4 years at the Bulldogs. I was performance director and head of fitness over there at the Bulldogs since the end of 2008. Prior to that, spent nearly 10 years involved in triathlon, of which 7 of them were involved as head coach and performance director for Triathlon Australia. So I was residing on the Gold Coast, and it was a combination of leading the program and obviously providing the leadership and the structure around the triathlon program, but also coaching a number of athletes. And then if you dial back now, we're starting to get back in time, but if you move back into the 90s, I spent prior to that another 8 years down in Tasmania at the Institute of Sport, working as sports science sort of coordinator, program coordinator down there. So yeah, I've sort of been involved in sport now for close on 20 years. I think once you've been in the AFL industry for a while, you appreciate that there's some extremely good athletes across all clubs. And that stands here. There's some very, very good runners, some very good athletes, some guys that are very strong and very powerful. So I'm still getting what I've been here now about 6 or 7 days in terms of actually working with the players. So I'm still getting my head across the players' capacities and their different abilities to handle different workloads and thresholds. But they're an impressive group to work with, and I've really enjoyed the way they've responded to some of the things we've brought in. Scott's very clear. One of our first objectives is obviously to continue to work on our football skills and craft, and obviously hone the game plan. The second component is obviously the physiological benefits that go when you take a group to altitude. Altitude training has been around as a phenomenon for a very long time. It's only come into football in the last half a dozen years. And I think the reality is it's been something that I can remember my first experience was nearly 20 years ago, working with athletes at altitude. So it will be a challenging environment. It's something that they'll take some time to adapt to, and some individuals will be better at it than others in terms of the way they cope. Our job's to manufacture the program and manage the program so that we can get the best out of each of them. But I've always been impressed by the Saints. Obviously was involved in those couple of years where we duelled out for the prelims to get to the grand final, so I was on the receiving end as a part of the Bulldogs in those two. I've admired them for their mental tenacity and their toughness. And look, Scott obviously had a fair bit to do with me coming here. I felt we had some really good discussions early about what he wanted to achieve here, and was really positive about the opportunity to come and work here. That, and I just think the club's in a good position, and I like the vision for the club and the direction it's going. So it was an easy decision for me to make the jump.